am here with another Debbie. How often do you have two Debbies in one room? This is Debbie Mitchell of Deborah Mitchell Media and Associates. And I'm going to throw something else out here that these fine folks definitely need to know. Debbie, this Debbie, not this Debbie, this Debbie is an Emmy-nominated television producer.
Yeah, thank you.
So welcome, Debbie.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Yes, we've got a lot to talk about with your media and associates business, but can we just talk a little bit about your past life as a TV producer and just
Absolutely.
highlights?
Absolutely. First of all, I'm very excited that you were in production. We were just talking about that before, so I love that. But yes, I spent many years, I'm from New York, spent my entire career working in television. I started working in television before I graduated college. So I worked at Esso's, the television show. Then I moved on to Geraldo Rivera's talk show. So I was there from the beginning, the start of the show to the wrap of the show, the end of the show. So that was a total of 11 years. It was amazing. Yes, I was there when he got his nose broken.
Oh, no.
Yes, I was. People love to ask me that. I said, yes.
When he opened the vault?
See, the vault, as a matter of fact, we just celebrated an anniversary of opening the vault. Opening the vault actually led to his getting the talk show. So remember, it was, I think it was the highest rated TV event.
Yes.
And yes, we were all disappointed.
Yes.
There was nothing in the vault, but it led to his getting the talk show. I came right after the vault, and he's amazing. He is the best boss. He is so smart, very talented and giving, and just, I learned so much from him. So it was just amazing to work in the genre with him. Then after the talk show, I moved over to CBS News, the early show, which is now called CBS This Morning with Gail King.
Yes.
So you do that morning grind. The show goes live at 7. You get in at 3 a.m. Or 4 a.m. to do your segment. You got to be functioning and get everything ready for your 7 o'clock live show.
Not for everybody.
It's not for everybody. Thank God I'm a morning person, so that's good. But, and people always say, if you go in early, do you get to leave early? No, not necessarily. Because if you go in early and there's breaking news, everybody's on board. All hands are on board, so you got to stay. So it doesn't matter how early you came in. And news is a beast. It's constant. I did that for 10 years, and then that ended. And I had my own production company all this time, but I wasn't really working in it because I had a full-time job. So I started working on projects after I left CBS, and I just worked on a variety of projects. I launched a movie review show. If you love movies, which I do, it was great. So we reviewed movies every week. And then I worked on a couple of other projects. So
how exciting.
It was pretty fun, I have to say. I was lucky enough to find my passion at a young age and work in it, and it's been amazing. It never feels like work.
That's awesome. You've lived what many people dream of. That was my dream. Didn't know how to follow it or what to do, and also got a little burned out. But that is something that so many people strive for. And in the world today, where it's not just, we used to have to sit down at a TV and you could only watch the news at the time that it aired. There was no watching streaming and things. So as you've built your production company, I can imagine you've branched out utilizing that core piece of production, but then branching into how many different medias are there now,
It's changed
and what
so
do you
much.
see as far as kind of those pivotal components that you're working on and now in your business?
Wow, you're right. It has changed a lot. When I first started, there were, 4 or 5 channels.
Right.
It was appointed television. You had to sit and watch a show at a certain time. And now it's just very different. You can watch whatever you want, whenever you want, on your mobile, wherever you are. So it's creating programming that lives on all these different platforms. Now, the great part is I still use my production skills from television. So certain things don't change. You still have to put out good content. You need to have to plan your segments. You have to strategize how you're going to put it out there, find good guests, give valuable information. So all of those things still play a part in what I'm doing now.
Great foundation.
It was an excellent foundation.
Because the audiences have changed.
The audiences have changed. People can pick and choose what they want to watch, when they want to watch it. So my YouTube channel, people might just tune in just because they're interested in what I have to say, and that's going to grow my channel. So, it's just fascinating to see. And everybody can create content now, which is kind of interesting because, being a producer back in the day, it was kind of coveted. It was coveted.
Yes.
It's like, how do you get to a producer? But now you can create your own content. Anybody who's watching this can use their iPhone, decide that they want to create content, and start to put themselves out there. And it's a great marketing tool.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm working with businesses now.
So let's talk about that. So marketing your business in all these different mediums. How do you approach that when a client comes to you and says, where do I start?
Very good question. So where do you start? First of all, we have to sit down and figure out what you're offering to your audience. Figure out who your audience is, who you're targeting to. I love video, and video is the best way to get to your audience because people love it. It's entertaining, it can be educational, and it's just more engaging for people. So when I'm producing specifically live streaming, just like what we're doing now, airing on Facebook, it's airing on LinkedIn, it's airing on X. So it's feeding to all these different platforms, reaching all these different audiences. And so you'll have that video in live time, but then when it's done, you can repurpose it and use it on other platforms in shorter snippets. It's great.
I love that.
And one of the things I'm excited about now is most people don't want to commit to producing a live stream. It just might seem a little overwhelming. This Testimonial Tuesday, for any member of the chamber, it's here for you. So you're getting your 30 minutes of live stream time, and you can actually repurpose this video, this interview, your interview, into smaller snippets that you can use for your marketing in your social media. So it's a great benefit of the chamber. And it just clicked because I was talking to Amy the other day in the office, just stopped by to brainstorm. And we were just talking, and it's like, oh my God, this is something that we could use, that chamber members, business owners should be using. Either if you signed up for your Testimonial Tuesday and done it already, or have one coming up, you should think about how can you repurpose this Testimonial Tuesday video.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. It's a great accompaniment to so many other things that are beneficial about being a member of the East Orlando Chamber, but also when you are trying to build your business and you want to help, right? I think that's why we're all part of the chamber. It's not that we just care about our own personal business, but we want to grow our business and find those like partners and grow with them. And I think using the Testimonial Tuesday platform to help share, because these are great conversations and there's great insight into so many of the different members that we wouldn't normally get. And so I think this is a great forum for that, and to repurpose those types of videos. Obviously, social media is a big component where people are putting in, I know I do as the Director of Promotions and Special Events for the Salvation Army, trying to get our messaging out there, not just for client services, but also for donors and attracting new volunteers and things like that. Where are we most likely to see an impact from a social media standpoint? Or is it better to put a lot of money and time and effort into a larger production scale? I mean, my thought is the social media platforms are a no-brainer, right?
It is a no-brainer. It really is. And, going back to the fact that it's great to network in person, but not everybody can go to all the events and meet people. So actually having a presence online is a great way to bring awareness to your brand. It lives online forever.
Scary,
yes,
but also really beneficial if you've got a strong business that you're
exactly. And so people can find you anytime, they can be anywhere, and just Google you, and your video comes up, and it's cost effective. So say for instance, and this is free. So you're having this Testimonial Tuesday. It's already done. The live stream is done. Call me if you want, and we can talk about how you can edit it, or if you're preparing for an interview, I can work with you on how to best prepare for the interview to get your talking points together. So that, you make the most of your 30 minutes.
I love that. I love that. And your website is Deborah Mitchell
Media and Associates. And I'm excited because I'm rebranding and I'm going to be launching the new website this week.
Fantastic.
This week or early next week.
Goodness.
So I'm kind of excited.
Okay, but same address.
Same address.
And you're Deborah, D-E-B-O-R-A-H.
Yes, and is it Debbie?
D-E-B-R-A.
Deborah.
So,
yeah.
So we've got, make sure you spell Deborah with the O-R-A-H.
Yes.
And on your website, you have the links to your YouTube channel, some great videos and little quick snippets. There's so many great, I think most of us don't have very long attention spans, but you've capitalized on that by having those little conversation snippets. And I've seen some of your Testimonial Tuesday snippets. And I think that that's a really great way for people to learn a little bit more about you and how they can utilize your services to help them in whatever their endeavor, whether it's a singular project or an overall company promotion kind of thing. Are there any little tips and tricks on your website that would be helpful for people to at least start investigating in?
Well, on the site, I definitely have some video content about content. So people worry about not knowing what to talk about. And there's always something to talk about. So creating content, topics that are relevant to you, you hit on something really important. You can talk about your business too, but it's also an opportunity for people to get to know you and your team on a personal level. You know, maybe what you do on the weekends, or maybe how you handle your meetings, or maybe behind the scenes of how you work. So people worry about content. And then people also worry about being comfortable on camera. And I was asking you earlier, like, did you want to be on camera or did you? So I have a segment in where we talk about how to get comfortable on camera. You know, it really is practice. There's some definite tools that you can use to make it appear as though you're not nervous. Yes, exactly. Yes. So they have teleprompters that runs the script and you're talking into the camera so you can't even tell that you're reading the script. So it's not that hard. You just got to get comfortable with it. So that, I think, people feeling nervous about being on camera probably stops them from making the attempt to record video.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think with the, certainly since the pandemic, people had to figure out how to get comfortable on camera because everybody was doing and still doing Zoom and still doing Teams and other ways of having meetings or even large conferences. That's one of the aspects that your company handles as well, is doing large conferences in person and virtual. Not everybody's probably comfortable doing that, but that was the way of the world 4 years ago. Everybody had to kind of pivot and find those ways. We all became our own news desk, right? Trying to get our messaging out there and connect people. So having the ability to be comfortable in speaking and sharing your message and knowing the right delivery for your message, I think is really important. I know that's something that you can help people with and finding the right.
Yes. You may not want to invest in hiring a team to produce your live stream, but you could benefit from having a producer consult with you on walking you through the steps of how to put your presentation together, how to get ready for camera. So that's something else that you can invest in. These TV talents, they're great, but they do have producers behind the scenes.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, helping them get ready. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's a bonus. It's plus. Yes.
Right. That's great. And when you're meeting with a client and you're trying to help them, you're getting to know them. You're getting to know their brand. And what are the things that you're looking for to help make them have a successful partnership with you?
Hit on some good points. I'm looking to get to know them, to know their voice, to find their, quote, special sauce. What makes them special in what they do. And some people can't really identify that. So I'm really helping them to get focused. Being focused is really important. So you get focused, you come up with a plan, a strategy, and then you execute. But it's really about just really focusing on what you really want to talk about, what your brand is, what your service is, and again, what's that specialness that you bring to your audience.